So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the DJ Force X podcast. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce you guys to Eng and James from the band Penny Rebels. Welcome,
Hello.
guys.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. It's probably the most professional part of this. It's always the introduction, and very rarely it does happen, but I do mess it up. But you guys are here to talk about various things. You are a new band, so it's very much a discovery episode for us today.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start off how I like to start off with a lot of these podcasts, is basically find out who the Penny Rebels are. What is the origin story of Penny Rebels? I don't know who wants to take that first, but feel free to.
Yeah, like a lot of things that kind of happened. I think we, me and James have known each other for a long time. So we've known you for a long time, and did music ages ago. And then during the pandemic, you had more free time, and it was like something we wanted to revisit. So I kind of contacted James and said, "Look, we've been talking about it. We were talking about doing music for a long time again."
Yeah.
And then the pandemic kind of gave us the time and the space to do it.
Yeah.
And then I basically started sending ideas over, kind of sending things to James. James would send stuff back, what he liked, what he didn't like. And it obviously the pandemic now, it's like 5 years ago now. It's quite a long time ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But it took us this long to kind of like figure out exactly what we wanted to do, and also kind of be at a point where we had quite a chunk of music, because I didn't want to just like sort of to say that we didn't want to just release like one song and then it'll be again ages till we release something else. We want to be in a position where we could fast follow and song after song after song, rather than just kind of going, right, release a song, now what do we do? We do some gigs. Kind of wanted to be prepared and ready. So so we found a few other people that we knew to kind of tag along, sent them a few songs and said, what do you think? As you do. And then found all the pieces of the band, and loved it. I think when we first got together, it kind of everyone knew what fit their place in the band, and it worked really well.
Cool, nice. And I mean, James, obviously on the other side from that side, how is it sort of getting back into this side of things as well? Because obviously, for those that don't know, obviously we're going to recap a bit. Bohica was the band. Back into there when we're both in bands, and I say I mention this in every podcast I do. I try not to, but I was in a band once, and we played shows. We were local to each other as well. And we were on the same. I believe we were on the same label at one point, or we released off the same label, different times, but the same label. Big up Jose. Hello, Jose, if he's watching. I still keep in contact, so hello, Jose. Occasionally bump into him in Reading. Actually, that's happened once. It was totally random, and I didn't realize it was kind of him.
Oh, really?
And then afterwards, I came home to a message on Facebook. Was that you? And I was like, yes, it was. But yeah, Bohica. To sort of go back in the day. Yes, you released a couple of records. One of which actually, so weirdly, I was in British Heart Foundation in Woking, and I found a CD of yours in there.
Amazing.
I did take more or less a pound. Was it a pound or less?
£2.
£2.
Now that same British Heart Foundation, about 5-6 years ago, I found a Zero Cypher CD in it as well.
Wow.
So obviously someone local decided to get rid of their stuff. But no, it was totally random. I was in there, and it's only just come back to me, and I think I took a photo of it. I'm not going to go through my phone right now. But I don't know how you feel about that, but I loved it when I found. I was like, it's gone full circle, because I buy CDs from charity shops all the time, just purely to either rebuy CDs or buy ones that I never had in the first place. And it's always a great place to go dig for records and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I found a Bohica record in there. I'm trying to remember which one it was off the top of my head, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, in Woking. So
I was in Woking. It still might be there.
If British Heart Foundation is still there, because I know they've been closing stores, and I know Woking's kind of
snap that up.
I was going to say, go there. It might be worth flipping. You can put. I don't know what it's worth on Discogs. Have a look. But yeah, Bohica, everyone. So you can go check them out. You still got music online from that. So But obviously, more importantly, Penny Rebels, back on topic. But yeah, James, how does it feel to be sort of back in the frame, if you will?
Good. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah? It's cool. It was. I mean, I think with the Bahika stuff, I think we all kind of got to a point where it kind of we kind of got to the limit of what we were kind of able to do for a bit, and then we had certain members that moved abroad and blah blah blah, so it kind of fizzled out. And then personally, I kind of met up with another group of people and did music, but I didn't want to sing.
Okay.
I was done with that, so I chose bass, and that was
weapon of the gods.
Yeah, and that was fun. That was good. There it is. Look at that. Too many strings though.
Yeah, you're right. That's gonna fall off there now. Shit.
Shouldn't have touched it.
That's a vintage one. That was used to record the first Zero Cypher album.
No way. That's cool.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
But no, it doesn't work. But it's there now. So that's why it's an ornament.
Okay.
But yeah, that was used on the
very
first.
cool. Bit of history.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. Back to you guys.
And basically, and then that sort of fizzled out. And then about the pandemic, Eng Wei and I, our old Bohica fund, where we used to chip in to pay for petrol and blah 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 for the van and gigs and stuff, is now our snowboarding fund, isn't it? So the band
holiday fund,
yeah. So
nice.
We would go snowboarding like once a year and have these chats about music and stuff. And it was kind of like had a few ideas of getting music, putting some music back together.
Yeah.
And asked me to come down if I'd ever get some vocals.
Nice.
And, and so that was nice and easy and free, and now it's kind of ramping up a bit. So you starting to get butterflies now.
Yeah, well, it's out July 3rd.
Yeah.
So by the time this is out, it possibly is already out unless we get this out sooner. Cool. Who knows how quickly we can move? I've released stuff straight after interviews before. I'm that quick. But yeah, that's a really bad thing to say, isn't it?
Depends on editing.
I'm a married man. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, like obviously with Penny Rebels coming out, that you've got a new single.
Yeah.
Which is out on July 3rd. It's called Bad Man.
Yeah.
So if anyone's watching, listening, whatever they're doing with this, stop it. Go listen to that. So if you're on Spotify, if you're on whatever thing, stop this interview. You don't hear us rambling on, and go listen to the music. Yeah, see, look at that thumb going up the screen, right up Eng's nose. But yeah, obviously that's out soon. So how can what is the how would you describe Penny Rebels and the sound? Really, that's the sort of because it is your first single. There's nothing out there that kind of defines you yet, I suppose is the word. You've got a history in music, and it's going to be different from that, I assume.
It is different,
slightly.
It's definitely. Obviously, we're older now as well. I think.
Did you slow down?
Kind of changed. It's like basically Bohica, but a lot slower. No, it's. I think the sound was. I would send James riffs, and I would describe it like if a stank face. It needed to be a riff or like an idea that would like a bad smell.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. I see it on James's face. Yeah.
Yeah. So that if the riff kind of you could give a stank face to, then that would be a good vibe, and we would continue with that. So the sound though is more kind of like a heavy blues rock kind of music.
Okay.
And I think Bad Man, aside from being probably the first one that was probably most complete for us, is kind of a blueprint that kind of sets the tone for a lot of it as well. So that's probably why it's first. A, it was finished first, and B, to be fair, it has kind of been tailored the rest of the sound of the other songs kind of coming along. So yeah, so we're excited to get it out there. Excited to get people to listen to it because it's been a long time. Yeah. Excited for people to hear it.
Yeah.
Nice. How would you take it from your point, James?
Yeah, it's a more retro sound, sort of a kind of a classic vintage rock sound, as opposed to anything like we were doing before, which is a bit more new metal-y.
Nothing wrong with new metal. These turntables still work, my friend.
So yeah, so it's you could say in a funny way, you know, as we've grown up, it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a hark back to what you remember listening to as kids.
Yeah,
kind of vibes, you know.
Nice. Well, let's say people can hear that as of July the 3rd, and it'll be on all platforms, I assume, all digital platforms. You're doing a video as well?
Yeah, we did a video. I was kind of saying to James, like, it's really hard. People they consume music with visuals a lot of the time nowadays, don't they? So it's really hard to just release a song with no visuals, and especially if it's the first time people see us. So we want to make sure there was us in the video, and a story to make it a little bit more interesting, because just looking at us is not that interesting, I don't think. So yeah, that'll come out.
Yeah.
That'll come out July 3rd as well. So that'll be on YouTube and stuff. So
well, if you're watching this on YouTube, people, stop this, go over to their
check that out,
and then go check that out. Go hit subscribe as well. Don't forget to subscribe. That's the important
notifications.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, notifications,
all that,
comments, all the things we ask these people to do. Exactly. A robot ends up doing it for us.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, no, I mean, that sounds really cool. And what sort of obviously you've got you've got this music coming out. Is there plans? Obviously there's plans for more music. So what sort of like what have you got kind of upcoming with that? Is there a plan of I don't know, it's early doors, but an EP or an album, if that's the route you're going, or is it just going to be kind of like, you just think maybe just a succession of singles?
I'm guessing it's going to head towards an album. Basically, I don't think there's anything set in stone yet, is it? We haven't really talked about that, but I think the natural progression is like single, and then once we've got enough, we've got an album. We're very close.
We're still formulating a few things, but I think like 7 or 8 pretty close to being finished. So something like that at the moment is where we're at.
Yeah.
And I know you touched on the writing process earlier from when you started out. Is that still like, is it more now when you're all together, are you writing, or is it still that kind of remote, like, and you come up with something, or James, you come up with something, or one of the other band members comes up with something, and you kind of just feed it around each other? Or is it literally in the practice room now?
No, it's still quite remote. I mean, obviously, like, we just don't have the time like we used to have to kind of get together. We used to, rehearse a couple of times a week. We just can't find the time, with life getting in the way of other things. So it is a matter, we send some stuff around, try and, formulate the song remotely, then when we do get together to rehearse, we try things out. People throw in their other ideas. Then you never know when you're actually playing it together. There's other things that are going to come out. So, maybe the feel or something will change when we're playing it together, or something's not quite working. Or even song structure and stuff. Like we've played it in rehearsals, like, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And together it's kind of easier as well to kind of together to restructure something or change a riff rather than to re-record it. And it's easier to do that when we're all together. But with limited time, this is the process that kind of works. Yeah.
So you've got like a skeleton of an idea that's kind of like 80% there, and then kind of just throw it in and everyone pitches in.
Yeah. You see if everyone goes on it.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, even when we've got to that point where we think, it's quite we're kind of there, when we're playing it in rehearsal, someone might change something and go, actually, that comes to mind, and I might change this bit. So it takes like time. It doesn't really, songs haven't come particularly quick. The process has taken longer and longer, I think, for us, definitely, whilst we formulate stuff.
I was going to say, go on.
old.
I mean, obviously age plays its role in this, but like compared to where you were like back in the olden days, and when you were writing music then, is it a very different thing now? Obviously the remote side of things, yes, but the sort of when you're putting these songs together, like in the practice room, is it very much a different vibe now? I know it's a different sound, but do you get that like feeling of that kind of feeling you had back then still, or is that evolved as well?
Some things are definitely easier.
Yeah, it's similar, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like the setup and stuff. So now that everyone kind of home records, that makes it super easy. Like almost everyone in the band can home record stuff. And when we're in rehearsal now, we use, like we talked about earlier, like in-ears, and we have our mixer, and we literally can just record rehearsal super easy. And then we can, like, blows us away.
Just to be able to do that, just to be able to put an SD card in something and it record 5 hours or whatever. It's just like, what?
Yeah, I marvel at that. I was looking at stuff, like, I mean, I just upgraded stuff in here, and just looking at some of the stuff available, I was like, if that was available 20 years ago, I'd be laughing.
Well,
we were younger and we had the time and
disposable income as well.
Yeah, disposable income. Yeah.
Which I've only just finished paying off myself.
Still paying it, yeah.
That was like my student loan. I didn't go to uni or anything, but it was like my student loan. I only just paid it off. Yeah. And where am I in the music industry? I'm a journalist. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy doing this. Honestly, I do. I don't want to be on stage. I DJ anyway. I still DJ, so that's fine.
It's fine. You still got the laser?
I do.
Laser fingers.
I do. Yeah. I have one glove left that's working. It's in a plastic box next to me here.
Things like that, you probably get those on like Temu for a lot less than when you bought those originally. Now, surely you're going to find those.
I got endorsed by the company that made them.
Oh, really? Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was a guy called it was Sims LED.
Right.
They put LEDs in like guitar frets and stuff. And like Steve Vai's like lasers. Like Steve Vai used these the things at the time, and at the time when we had a bit of momentum, I just fired them a message and they're like, oh yeah, we'll do that. They made me a pair, and I had got these like reflective tops for the turntables and stuff, so just to bounce it. But I've still got one of them left.
That needs to be an acrylic box next to the bass.
It does. It needs to be on a glove, like a Freddy Krueger glove.
Yes, exactly.
Just to modify that as well. But it's in there. It's safe. I've got little bits of memorabilia here and there. But I used to love those lasers. It still works as well. One of my friends did a bit of rewiring on it, just to make it work again, because it wasn't properly working. I think because the battery acid had corroded some stuff. But the other one.
We have a keyboard player in the band who plays, like Hammond and stuff, and we were saying that he should have them. He needs lasers on his fingers.
Yeah, Sims don't do them anymore, but like Temu, yes, Temu, every day of the week. AliExpress, Temu, whoever, like, obviously you take your life in your hands slightly with the build quality, but
don't stare into the laser.
And the laser, it could be one of those ones that you're not allowed. Which actually the ones on there, you're not allowed those anymore. They had like a stupid like couple of mile distance on them and stuff. So
bring down airplanes.
Yeah, kind of. I've never tried it.
Bet not.
I don't think I will, because now this is now public knowledge, or will be. But obviously, back to your band.
Okay.
You got some gigs coming up as well, which is cool for a new band. Obviously, back on the block. Obviously, you do have your prior reputations to sort of use a little bit to get these things, which is good. I use the Zero Cypher one all the time if I can, even though we've not been relevant for 10 years, 50, maybe even longer than that. Maybe even we've never been relevant.
As long as we've not been relevant as well, so we can
but there are some people locally that still hold us in some kind of reverie. Idiots, fools. We released an album last year, fools. But that was just a fun thing. It was just demos left over that me and Duncan put out. But we like, obviously, with these gigs you got coming up, you got a couple of like local to yourself as well. But you've got what was it? One in Aldershot. Which is it a picnic in the park or something along those lines?
Yeah. It's gonna be like a fun barbecue in the park in Aldershot, and there'll be us in there somewhere. Which will be fun. That'll be. It's been a while since we've done a gig, so I'm excited. James is not so excited. James,
I don't know if my cardio's up for it.
Yeah, this is the thing, and if it's as hot as it is now,
yeah. Cardio, knees, hips, or
you might need paramedics on call.
Yeah.
Or at least, have you got a first aider in the band?
No, don't. Not that I know of. I'm not.
That hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
Just remember, in the rider, it's an oxygen tent.
Yeah.
It's Perrier chilled still water.
Yeah.
You can't get Perrier still, so it's perfect.
What's the stuff that they inject into American footballers' kneecaps? What's that stuff? Some sort of
that's a good question.
It's a steroid to stop.
A steroid of some kind.
Yeah.
Yes. Steroids, everyone. Steroids.
Yeah.
And a defibrillator. That's the key.
Yeah.
If I was that, I'd be yeah.
And some adult nappies.
Yeah. Or what they call them, the pit nappy. I think you can get proper metal ones now. Which is what a lot of people are wearing to these gigs these days.
I thought you meant they're actually made of metal when you said metal.
Oh no, it's not like a chastity belt or anything. It's literally a pit diaper. They've marketed it as like if you go to a music festival,
you want to go to the front,
and you want to go to the front and wait for the bands and stuff,
and you can't leave because you're leaving.
This is the male. This is the male equivalent. So you don't have to leave to go to the bathroom.
Right.
I think James needs one of those anyway.
Yeah,
James,
get yourself I don't know, a tenner. I don't know, a tenner lady or something. I don't know.
It's quite expensive though, isn't it? Because you need 2 a day.
I mean, possibly. I don't know. I don't venture into that side of things. But my kid went to not that my kid wore a diaper on this or a nappy. Just to clear that up because they do watch this sometimes, and they will kill me because they are teenagers, and they will, which is scary in that. But they went to go see Olivia Rodrigo in Hyde Park. And someone was holding up a sign saying, "I wore nappy, so I got barricade or something." And these things are mad. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just something that but they queue up so early for these shows these days.
Yeah.
Just to get barricade.
Yeah. My daughter wants to do that too, and I'm just like, don't bother. It'll be all
right. It was her money that did it, so she paid for this. I'm not paying for this sort of stuff. Anymore. She's got a job, so she can learn the value of the money, even though she's paying stupid amount of money for those tickets.
Yeah.
She's off to see.
So crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, she's off to see a K-pop band next 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
They're playing the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's paid 400 quid for her ticket. But it's it's a VIP sound check pass.
Okay.
So she gets in early, which is fine. Yeah. She's a huge fan of the band, but it was her money she earned over Christmas at her job she had. So I was like, cool. But then she bought a ticket for the second night, not as expensive as that.
Yeah.
But it was up in like the gods, if you will. Right, but that was still like 90 quid. And I'm like,
wow.
That's nuts, isn't it?
It is. I could get Billy Idol tickets for 15 quid before he played Wembley. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. A classic.
Yeah. To be, I know this has got to be where artists make their money when they're that size now, though, because they're not making it off Spotify or streaming.
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. It's gigging.
As long as they are making the money, and it's not touts and blah blah blah. You know,
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know about the K-pop band though. Probably there's someone else. Someone else is making some money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Those guys are going to be on stage for like 3 solid hours.
Yeah.
There's no support band. It's just them.
Oh wow.
Which is insane in itself. But they do this whole production.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like 20 of them. I don't know. But like, it's crazy. It's like a machine over there. It's like the pop machine we had here for a bit, but on steroids.
Yeah, they don't look healthy. Those guys or the guys and girls doing it. They don't look like they're well.
No. But they're entertaining the kids. What can I say?
Yeah.
I can't. It's up to them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Back to your back. Keep diverting.
Again.
Digress. We're getting into K-pop. Let's not get into K-pop.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Go to the next album.
Yeah.
Next album. I can't wait. Oh, go on. So and you got another show as well. And I forgot the name of it. I had it in front of me, but it's disappeared.
Rock or something like that. Where is it? In Somerset.
It's like a covers festival, right?
Yeah. Yes. They've got like a covers. We're not doing covers.
No.
Unfortunately.
That was my next song. Are there any covers in the set?
Yeah. Somewhere they're fitting us on the bill. So that should be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, it's pretty. You've got a couple of things coming up. Got new music coming out as well. Obviously, a hot summer coming up as well. As it is right now, it's bloody boiling. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like, like, sort of, pulling on the Bohica side of things. Obviously, there is that base of fans that you had at some point with them. Are you still pulling on? Are you still in contact with that sort of side of things in that respect? Like, obviously, with myself, I kind of kept a lot of stuff alive over the time. Not very well populated, but I kind of kept the pages up and all that kind of stuff. But do you have that? If you had people from that side of things, sort of, no, not at all.
We haven't really done much, have we?
Okay.
Not really. I think we pulled the page down. I think that there's probably still some things up, but we don't manage it too much, to be honest. We don't do anything with it anymore.
I think we've got, was it like 1 or 2 monthly listeners on Spotify?
Yeah.
That's where things get serious.
That's us too.
Yeah. You have 1 listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you give up your Spotify account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can count on those 2 people.
Okay. No, I was just curious, like, just because, like, when we, like I said, up the Zero stuff, we released something last year, and a lot of people kind of came out the woodwork.
Nice.
Obviously, it was still under the Zero Cipher name, which is the difference in the something new. But I was like, if you had the sort of access to that, like, kind of had that part, just a partial like knock back into it. So obviously, you pulled the page down, so it's probably gone. But if like it was just curious if you had people sort of coming out of that saying, "Oh, cool, you guys are doing stuff," and I remember you guys from back when.
Yeah, there's still stuff like. Probably like people who've friended us on Facebook from like 15 years ago. And they'll know, I'm sure. From when we
there wasn't all the platforms, were there? It was we had MySpace, and then I think Facebook was just sort of coming out, really.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out what Facebook was about. Meeting up with old school friends or something.
Yeah.
It's sort of grown into much more.
It has, and it's a damn shame about MySpace. We had so many followers on.
Yeah, MySpace was the place at the time. Now it's non-existent.
Yeah, non-existent. It's crazy how it just disappears.
Yeah,
I wish I'd kept a mailing list or something. That was my main thing. Of like email address, because I used to have all that stuff.
Right.
That's the bits I can't find anymore.
I've
still got access to the email address, but there's no like sent history or something. There's no list. It's like, so, but it's all fun. It's all fun.
We've got to find new fans. We've got to find new Penny Rebel fans.
I was going to say, you got to find at this point.
Yeah,
you've got to go through that. You got to figure out the algorithm.
Starting again.
Get the algorithm. You get the algorithm or something.
Yeah. Just got to figure all that out. We're trying to figure that out.
Get the right hashtag. I don't know. Maybe find a trending video and do funny little dances. I don't know. It's up to you. TikToking and all that kind of stuff. I should say that I was a social media person for a little bit for a radio station. I shouldn't tell the best, but I was literally trying to find stuff like that for it, and working out what gets traction and stuff. Like weirdly, I posted a video. It was 9 Inch Nails, so it was bound to go so. But I've got a video of 9 Inch Nails I went to go see them last week, and the video I put up's gone absolutely like crazy for the amount of stuff I have on the thing. It's like 20,000 real looks or something, and loads of likes and all that kind of shit. And I was just like, and all I did was like 9 Inch Nails, hashtag 9 Inch Nails, 9 Inch Nails, O2 London, and it's literally the intro to their set, which is the drummer drumming on a big screen, and it just, I don't know why. And then I post something after that, it gets like 2 views.
Yeah.
So maybe I should just tag 9 Inch Nails and everything. I think that's probably the key.
Maybe that's where he comes from. I think my most popular social post is a mate of mine, actually the drummer from Bohica, wearing a bikini and jumping in a very cold pool, and that's something like 60,000 views from a long time. But it's the worst video. But I think it's because it's got man and bikini in the title, and it pulls a certain type of person who wants to see that kind of thing.
Yeah, and probably disappointed.
You got to think down those lines, I guess.
Yeah. That'll be it.
Any of the band want to wear bikinis?
The next video.
Ice bath. I don't know.
We'll
It's
sign
a
up the new
thing.
drummer to do it. We'll sign up the new drummer. He's got to do that. He
Always get the
doesn't know
drummer to
yet.
do it. The drummer
Yeah.
always, the drummer
Yeah.
every time.
Absolutely.
Well, I've got a couple of questions left for you guys.
Cool.
Ready to get back to this very humid evening. But what I want to find out for you, this question for each of you, but this is like my classic enders. So if you've ever watched my podcast or listened to my podcast before, you don't have to. Don't worry.
You never got to the end. Yeah.
Never got to the end.
Yeah.
You're like, that retention is so bad. So bad. But what I want to find out are your 3 most pivotal records. Now, these aren't your favorite records of all time, because you can probably rack off my top 5, top 20, whatever. But these are pivotal. So these are records that you heard at a certain point in your life, and it kind of changed your direction. So, like, as an example, the one that wanted to make you be a singer, James. One of the ways you want to play guitar, those sort of ones, or one like even a song that just changed you, like, and it doesn't have to be, like I say, it can be a song, it can be an album. But if you have 3 that you can kind of, mention, that's what I'm after.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first?
Do I want to go first? Beach Boys.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Was the first double cassette that I bought, and I listened to that over and over, and so that was, I think, quite influential.
Yeah, that was was it Pet Sounds?
When it was actually the best of.
Oh, okay, cool.
Best of, it was like when there used to be sort of like Now 1 and 2 and all this stuff, and double cassettes and garages, in the petrol station, you'd sort of get a cassette, and I just might have been slightly swayed by the fact that it was a bikini-clad woman on the cover, but when
you're young. Beach Boys,
all their hits, and that was great.
Yeah, I mean, some of their stuff, obviously with Brian Wilson recently dying, but if people have been playing stuff, and you kind of forget how good they were. Like, not just on a songwriting,
arrangements and stuff is just nuts.
Yeah, the production of especially for back then, we're talking 60s, and between them and the Beatles, production wise, was crazy. Like, they were kind of like battling off against each other, I think, like across the pond, if you will. But there was so many times where they cross over, but it was just like the Beach Boy. But I don't know, it's within the sort of rock and metal field, probably never heard, a lot of people don't listen to, but you go back to some of those records, and it's crazy production, and it just it stands up now. But no, it's a good choice. That's a good choice. I like that. Cool.
So guitar wise, the first thing that for like electric guitar that kind of really resonated with me was a band called Thunder, who like a British rock band and their first album, Backstreet Symphony. And my mate came over and he played it to me on tape, on the hi-fi, and that just absolutely resonated with me.
Nice.
And made me want to pick up guitar at that point.
Nice. Again, a classic album, that one. I mean,
classic, underrated, I think.
Yeah, again, Thunder are one of those bands that kind of, I don't know if they had sort of popularity moments.
Definitely,
really flown under the radar. I think it's one of those ones where you're like, when they're gone, people will realize. Yeah. But it's only until they're gone, which is really sad.
It is sad.
There's a few bands out there that kind of have that same sort of thing, and you like wish they, it's like you wish they could be bigger, or they wish they had more recognition within that field. But a classic, that Backstreet Symphony is absolutely cracking out.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Another one for me would be Faith No More and The Real Thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, it's
still just blows me away.
Yeah. It's I mean, Faith No More. What can you say about Faith No More?
Yeah.
I would say they were godfathers of the new metal movement. Like, them and maybe like Rage, I think, just for the what they did with the music and what they brought to that, like what they brought to heavy music generally. They brought this whole musicianship, this whole like just multiple genres sort of coming in, and that because they could pull it off. Obviously, with the vocalists that they had, obviously Mike Patton, very well. He's been very well lauded in the past of having a multiple octave voice.
Super versatile. Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And but the band themselves as well, like their musicianship is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you go back, you listen to stuff with the original vocalist as well, and it's just that like real sort of like heavy funk. Like heavy funk, like not sort of like groove metal style, but just like kind of like, you know, if I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers stayed in that sort of field, you know, had the balls to do that. Instead of singing about California all the damn time. But
eclectic mix, wasn't it? Everyone was completely different. All seemed to be different, like influence. Like, you know, there was like the sort of the death metal guy, the sort of the country and western guy. You know, it's just like everyone was like different, and it's just like absolutely amazing. And obviously his voice is not bad as well. So
well, that helps, doesn't it?
Ridiculous.
I think what you put on one of their records, and you wouldn't know what to expect from one song to the next. I loved, but I kind of started at Angel Dust and worked backwards actually when I got this phone no more. Angel Dust I thought was brilliant.
That's a fantastic album. But yeah, what is your second?
My second, it would have to be Pornography by Extreme.
Nice.
Still in that kind of hair metal vein. But again, that just, I mean, he was just doing stuff that you know, I'm just like, I don't know how he's doing it. Just blew me away. And he's still doing stuff like that now. So but I also quite like same that particular album again. It had, you know, different types of, you know, songs. So obviously the big hits were the acoustic ones, but one song to the next was going to be different. I like that. Makes an album more interesting.
Nice. Yeah, they're another one of those bands that kind of fall under that Thunder kind of thing, where they're like they're on that cusp of potential.
Never quite being massive.
Never quite got to that sort of like that stage of some of the bands. Obviously there's only room for a certain amount of bands, I guess.
And
you wouldn't know these days, everyone's bloody playing a stadium. But you know, like having like those bands like of that, obviously it's a great, like, you know, there's a great bunch of bands in that area, that middle area, if you will, of and again, you'll miss them when they're gone, kind of thing, or they change or whatever. But it's like, you know, they've got some absolute classic albums or classic songs out there. So cool, nice. And your last one, James?
My last one. I have to thank Eng Wei for this one actually. Because when I first auditioned or joined Bohica, he gave me a Silverchair CD album, and that got me into them. So I would go with Neon Ballroom and Silverchair.
Nice.
Being an influential album for me.
Yeah,
I don't think I gave you that.
You did. No, it was Frog Stomp, but
it led on to Neon Ballroom.
They you know, they've morphed over the years, and I think Neon Ballroom is like a really, really amazing album. So
again, another band that kind of back then huge. Obviously, you know, the guy had his problems, medical and otherwise. So he's not been able to kind of continue that musical journey, if you will, to the fullest of he could. So with the arthritis and everything, I think that he had in his hands.
He's had all sorts.
And then the drug addiction and the drink addiction, whatever. You know, rock star shit.
That incredible voice. And,
totally.
Incredible album.
Again, it's like one of those bands you go back and you listen to, like you know, my kid was playing Freak the other day, which is really weird. Like, really weird to hear that comment. Oh, what the fuck? How do you know that? But there's this whole like generation of kids now that are finding like stuff from
old stuff.
Well, not to us. That's the new stuff. It's like around the fur just came out, right?
Yeah, literally.
You know, White Pony. That's right. That was like last year. You know, you go. But you know, but they're finding these stuff now, and thanks to obviously social media or whatever they go through there. But finding these tracks, like and like you just like, I'm a freak. And like my kid got into like various things, like she's got into like Pierce the Veil and stuff like that, because they had a bit of a viral moment. And then obviously there's my influence of like, oh, if you like this lot, listen to this.
Cool.
Listen to this. Don't listen to
You have to remember their age as well. There's still the age at that time as well. I think they were sort of like 17.
Frogstop were like 16, 17, weren't they?
Yeah.
Frogstop, I think it was earlier, maybe younger, like 15, 16.
Yeah.
They were crazy young. But they blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Neon Ballroom, they're still like 17 or something, 17
yeah.
or something. It's like nuts.
Absolutely crazy. But yeah,
I don't remember timing, but were they around when Nirvana were around? Because obviously there was they were similar.
It was, they were after Nirvana, I believe. So
okay, maybe they were.
Yeah, they were
the Australian Nirvana.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, so your last one.
My last one, kind of getting into the new metal thing, was Korn's first album. Was absolutely phenomenal. Just the sound of it, it wasn't as polished as the stuff they're doing now. It was really raw. I loved it, and that was just on rotation as soon as I heard it.
Yeah, wow, absolutely monumental. I think when it comes to that new metal scene, and even now, I mean, they just headlined Download. And the opening track is blind. Yeah, the opening track is blind. Their whole intro is blind, and I don't know what it was. I've been watching videos. I see video clips online, but it still gives me goosebumps. I mean, I've seen Korn live. I've seen that live. I've seen that happen.
Yeah,
and I saw them back in like 1997, I think it was, at the London Astoria. I think it was around.
I was there then, I think.
Hey, and yeah, so like I followed them since they sort of blew up, and I think that was around Life Is Peachy they came out. It was 95, I think, the first album. Yeah, because they're doing a 30-year tour.
30 years, just yesterday.
Exactly. It's the brand new one. Blind is the brand new track.
Yeah.
Yeah, they open Download with it. It's got to be new.
Yeah, it's got to be new. No one knew it, you see. But it's the perfect intro track. Like that is like it stood the test of time.
Insane.
And they sound absolutely fucking like I saw them when did I see them? I think it was like it might have been at like an Ozfest at the O2 or something. They just got Ray Luzier as the drummer. Like they didn't have Fieldy, didn't have Head with them. Sorry.
Okay.
So the other guitarists were all kind of in the black in the background.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Apart from the main guys.
Yeah.
But that drummer has changed them. That drummer has like I don't know what he's done, but he has just elevated that sound. Not that David Severa was did anything bad.
Yeah.
But seeing Korn when they were kind of not really bothered.
Yeah.
Before that. And then seeing Korn with like this new energy, and they've kept that energy since then, and put it into obviously they got the whole they did the whole collaboration with the dubstep lot and all that kind of stuff. But they their albums since then have been great.
I mean they've had such a career. I don't even know how many they've got, but it's got to be in double digits now, surely.
I think so. They have released the greatest hits ages ago, but
that was ages ago, though, wasn't it? Yeah,
that was last week. But yeah, that debut album absolutely it just blew everything out. Them and Deftones for me around that time. Absolutely Deftones got me back into the rock and metal because I was going sort of indie kid for a bit.
You must have been playing those down the rock nightclubs like.
Oh yeah, I still every week, every it's month now, but it's I still play tracks from those albums and people still go crazy for them. But it's like Study Schism, which is now in Guildford rather than Woking and all that kind of stuff. So but I'm still playing I do try and bring in their new stuff. It's very difficult.
Is it?
It's not. I should bring in more new stuff, to be perfectly honest with you, but like sometimes drunk people want what drunk people want. And if they want something off that first or second album, who am I to say no?
Exactly.
But no, phenomenal albums and artists there. But my last question for you guys, what are your hobbies away from music? So obviously over time you've probably your day jobs are kind of kicked in and music is now the hobby again, but do you have anything else you do
together or separately?
Separately. I mean, if you have a hobby together, you can share that. If it's
we do go snowboarding once a year is our thing. We always do. And it's like it's the lads' holiday for the year. So don't bring the family. Well, I probably should. And then through the pandemic, we played a lot of Call of Duty, and that's kind of stuck.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So
Nice.
that takes up some time.
Socializing.
Yeah, it was a way of us, keeping in touch when we couldn't see each other.
Yeah. Personally, are you talking about like collaborative, like the both?
No. It can be your own hobbies.
Photography for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's bad to say drinking, but socializing.
Socializing. You're a socialite.
Social animal.
Right. Out to be, out with mates a lot. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Exploring.
Cool.
So yeah.
Nice. Well, that's nice. And do you have anything on like you do on? You mentioned a couple of collaborative ones.
Mountain biking. I do like doing that. I'm trying to get the kids more into biking, which the weather's helped. So yeah, I mean, they don't enjoy it. They wouldn't enjoy it if they go when I go, like, in the evenings when it's wet and cold and dark, in the woods with spotlights. They wouldn't be keen on that. But I'm trying to get them into it.
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to get the kids out these days.
Yeah. Get away from screens, but it's hard.
Yeah, get away from screens. You got to take them to Disney or something.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much. Good luck with everything, Penny Rebels.
Amazing.
Thank you
everyone,
very much.
go to is it pennyrebels.com?
Yeah.
Gosh, sorry, I didn't have that written down in front of us.
Pretty lucky actually. Penny Rebels isn't that common, so we've got it's Penny Rebels on YouTube, Penny Rebels on Instagram, Penny Rebels on everything.
You've landed like in this time where most names are taken.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I kept hold of the Zero Cipher name, just so no one else could have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's loads of Mohicans out there now, by the way.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, surprisingly.
Tons.
It's weird. Like, it's the same thing with my DJ name. I have to, like, in any new set, even if I don't use the platform, I register the name.
Yeah.
Just in case, because these things move so quickly now. It's like, what am I supposed to do? And I have to remain on social media to at least try and do something to bring people to shows. But it is what it is. But no, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time.
Good luck with everything on that front.
Nice
and have good gigs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, good luck with the single. It's out, everyone, July the 3rd. If this hasn't come out by then, it's July the 3rd. You can pre-save it now. I know there's a pre-save on YouTube to think of the platform then, but you got the premiere set up for July the 3rd. So you can follow that with a music video. But obviously it's going to be on all the streaming services, so whatever your poison is, please find that song, put it in your playlists, like, subscribe, all the good things that we love you to do. And you guys, you do have merch. I should mention this. You have merch. I did look at your website. I should have known what the damn thing was. But you do have t-shirts and things.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, buy a t-shirt. Yeah. And
brand new band, everyone. No one else will have these t-shirts yet.
Exactly.
You could be
everyone will be like, what is that?
Ultra cool and going to these festivals with a t-shirt that no one else has at the moment.
Yeah, do it.
I'm sure they're reasonably priced.
They are.
Good. But yes, good luck with everything. Everyone, go to pennyrebels.com. Find them on YouTube. Find them on Facebook, Instagram. Are you on anything else? Are you TikTokers?
Yeah, we've got a TikTok. Like you say, we've got a TikTok account registered. We haven't put anything on there yet. Maybe we need to do this bikini drummer dancing.
Yeah, that's usually a good idea. I think that maybe a hot tub live stream.
Yeah,
that worked during lockdown for Twitch.
Yeah, we'll try it. Try anything.
And there's these other people who just like in hot tubs. Yeah, ice bucket challenge. That did come back for a bit. It did.
Oh, wow.
It went. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I don't know what's trending at the moment, but anything like that, it's all fun. It's all good. But yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.